From the Bob Mills Weather Center, the Oklahoma weather expert, Travis Meyer.
All right, goodbye summer. It was not really nice knowing you. A lot of people love summer, but boy, I tell you what, we've taken it on the chin. Gary Crow sent us these pictures in from around the Miami area, and this could be a picture that could be almost any place here in eastern Oklahoma. There's basically hardly any grass left over. The cattle usually have grass and forage as we go on into November before you start feeding, but now, I mean, a lot of ranchers, farmers are either selling or they're getting scared about the amount of water that they have available because we don't have water. I mean, it's one thing to be hot, but if you can have water, you can kind of survive that. And again, another picture from Gary, and I think this gentleman's disking a field and getting ready to try to plant some wheat in it, and you plant that in the fall, and then that grows into the spring, and then you go and harvest it during the early summer time period. Now, we hope we can get something going. Right now, we do see rain, and it's up to the north of us. We've had some pretty good sized rains going on in Kansas, and they're as bad a shape as we are, and so it's not a pretty picture. And that front coming down across our area, that's going to be great. So temperature-wise, we're doing fine. We just got to find some water, and we find a lot of it out west. We've had flood watches out to the west. We even had a severe thunderstorm watch in Utah and parts of Idaho. I mean, it's just kind of weird stuff going on just because of how this storm system has been. And then you see that moisture wrapping around, and that's all part of this high that is still dominating our weather. And so eventually that's going to get pushed off. In the meantime, today we were one of the hottest spots in the country, 102 in Memphis. So again, it's kind of like shifting the hot weather. And you look out at Phoenix, there was 88 and off and on periods of rain and clouds. It's like, what in the world is going on? Anyway, tonight we see much cooler weather just to our north, and that fresh air is coming our way and should greet us from Tulsa to the north in the morning if you're southeast Oklahoma. It's going to take a little work. We should get there. Temperatures at this time showing up behind. This is the front right in here. You can see the arrows, and so it's down to 62 in Buffalo, 69 in Alva. We're still at 89, but we're getting ready to transition to a north wind, and folks in Bartlesville sitting at 80. We're looking at temperatures right now in the 70s and 80s. Again, the heat island effect going on right in the immediate Tulsa area. So with that going on, you're probably ready to say, okay, we can go away from 90 at 10 o'clock at night, or what it feels like at 90, and still be okay for everybody. Well, we're looking for tomorrow morning to be cooler with the 60s and northerly winds picking up during the day and gusty. And where it's cloudy, there could even be a few sprinkles for you guys in southeast Kansas. We'll be in the low 70s. And if we get more clouds, we could be in the 70s in the afternoon. While you're down south, you're still quite warm. And as we look on into Friday, temperatures will be returning back into the upper 80s, low 90s as we go back to a south wind, because the real cool air doesn't really get in. So that means Saturday's still hot. We'll be in the 90s, but there is another cold front coming through, and as that rushes through, then our temperatures will be down in the mid-80s with gusty north winds during the afternoon. And if you're in southeast Oklahoma, maybe not quite as impressive. So the thing is, how much rain? And again tonight, the latest data is not giving us anything other than sprinkles and a few showers. And the only time that could happen is maybe Saturday into Sunday with that next cold front coming through. And overall, the temperatures as we head to the Tulsa State Fair, pretty warm, but then there is a significant drop-off with a pretty good cold front at that time. All right, as we look at midnight, still warm, but the winds are switching to the north, and by morning, we're talking about 60s north, around 70. It will feel a lot cooler if you're Tulsa to the north. And during the day, no, not 95 at noontime, 78, and a gusty north wind. And then, as we go to the afternoon, we'll be around 80. If you're north of Tulsa, you won't see 80. Then we see summer come back for Friday and Saturday, even though it doesn't listen to the calendar. Not real happy about Mother Nature, but then we do find it Sunday, knocking it back down. Then it stays a little bit more reasonable for next week, but still no water.